Welcome to the Texas Truck Channel. I'm Craig, and behind me I've got the 2022 Ford F150 TREMOR. That's right, it is a trim all on its own. It's not a package you put on an XLT or a Lariat, it's its own trim. We had it in the Ranger, we had it in the F250, now we get it in the F150, and I'll just be honest, it looks freaking awesome. What does it get you? It gets you this active orange all throughout. We get it on the grille, and by the way, grill-wise, this is the best looking grill out of the 1,000 grills available on the F150. It goes right into the amber turn signal, I love that. You get the active orange tow hooks, you get aggressive Raptor looking wheels, you get aggressive Raptor looking side steps, and you get just a nice stance. This thing looks awesome. And in stone gray metallic like this one, we love it. We're doing a lot of bill and pricing, trying to figure out how to get it. So you also get some interior treatment too. Brian will get to that in just a second. But most importantly, you also get bash plates down there below. So that's important. They're not skid plates, they're bash plates. Last neat little trick that you don't normally see on a Ford anywhere is you get black Ford logos on the exterior and on the steering wheel. It's not often that Ford does that. They like that blue Ford. You don't see it here. Let's see what the interior has to say, and let's talk to Brian.
Do you suffer from fat wallet syndrome? I sure do. It hurts my back all the time. That's why I've switched to the carbon fiber money clip from Simply Carbon Fiber. In fact, this episode is sponsored by those guys, and we love it. It has the indent here to push your cards out when you need them. Has a clip for all the cash so you can show people how wealthy you are. And also it's incredibly light, goes in your side pocket. You never even realize it's there. Now, if you'd like to get one for yourself, check out the description below and use the discount code TTC10 for 10% off your order. Now, all that out of the way, by the way, that matches the interior beautifully in here. Let's talk about it. We have the orange accents all throughout. Orange on the stitching on the steering wheel, orange on the stitching on the seat, trimmer on the back, and these are cloth. This is not the top trim, this is the mid-pack on the interior, and it gives you a two-tone cloth fabric. It almost looks like a digital camo, and it looks freaking awesome. My kids love it, I love it, my priest loves it. Everyone loves it, it's awesome. Beyond that, we've seen this interior. It's a good Ford interior, nothing to complain about, plenty of headroom, plenty of comfort, and with this motor, plenty of power. Let's head to the shop and talk all about that.
Welcome to the under the hood portion of the F150 TREMOR. I'm gonna make this quick because, like the engine that it is, because we've talked about it a bunch of times. It's the second gen 3.5 EcoBoost. They added port injection to it, and it still makes 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, and it's still paired to a 10-speed transmission, codenamed the 10R80, co-developed with GM, and it still shifts a little funny. We do hear that there's a tune that can help with that shift clunkiness a little bit, so there is that. As far as powertrain differences compared to the other F-150s, that is, you can get the four-wheel drive auto that gets the same transfer case out of the Raptor, which is a nice option to get. This one doesn't have it, but this one does have the optional Torsen front diff, and that's pretty cool. Last but not least, it's a little bit of lift, which Brian will get into, but that gets it down to 18 combined highway rating from the EPA, and we're getting a combined about 15 because we really like the boost part still. So with that, I'll let Brian tell you all about the suspension and see what makes it a TREMOR on that side.
Welcome to the nuts and bolts portion, and that's when we get into the mechanics of what makes something what it is. And starting with the TREMOR, we're going to start with the tire because that shows intent and its goals. This thing happens to ride on 275/70 General Grabber ATXs, and as you can tell, there's plenty of bite and it means business. We have had this thing in off-road terrain, and it's done well. It's made this truck quite the mountain goat. It is obviously a copy from the BFG KO2, and that's fine with us. It's a good thing to copy. These are not the quietest tires, but they're not noisy enough to be annoying. We like that a lot. Now, this wheel and tire package is 74 pounds as weighed, and we found it to be light enough to be sprightly. Now, what do you get in the TREMOR that you don't find in the normal F-150s? Starting with electronics, you get the trail turn assist, which is really cool. That's straight off the Bronco. And what that does is it locks the inside tire when you're trying to turn tightly on a loose surface. The other three driven wheels will pull the truck around and make it turn tighter. You also get one pedal drive and trail traction control. Basically, it allows you to set a speed using the cruise control buttons, and it will maintain and drive itself up and over obstacles and down obstacles, and that includes the hill descent control. Now, mechanically, what's different here? There's a few borrowed things from the Raptor. One is the Torsen front diff. That's an optional extra on any TREMOR package. That's really cool, we like that. That allows you to lock the rear diff and use the Torsen limited slip up front to really get proper four-wheel drive when you need it. You also have a revised ride height, revised springs on all four corners, and shocks revised on all four corners. And the ride is just, there's no other way to put it, supple and it's brilliant. And I have not found an off-road situation where it is jarring me at all. That's a big departure from a lot of older, well, let's say our old Ford Raptor doesn't quite pull it off very well. Now, something else you see is a revised upper control arm and a revised knuckle, and a lot of that is to correct geometry with the lift because it's an inch higher in the front, 1.5 inches taller in the rear, and that's mostly through the lift block. It's also an inch wider in track width, and that's mostly in the wheel offset. That helps keep this thing stable even though it rides so high. Now, all that covered, let's get this thing on the road and see if it's any good.
All right, Brian.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Oh. Sport mode?
Sport mode.
Traction control off.
And stability.
Auto start stop off.
Of course.
Trimmer package does a lot of wheel travel. Does it help with launches? Hit it!
Whoa!
Boost.
40, 50, and 60 in 6.08 seconds.
In a lifted truck. This is why it's called
30
Eco Beast.
Well, it's called Eco or Beast. It can't do both.
No, that's
And
true, because what are we averaging mileage-wise in our...
Just driving it.
Just driving it.
You're getting 15, and I'm getting 11.
Yeah, not good.
No.
In all seriousness, I mean, driving around, we're getting 15 and a half, over 500 miles in it.
And you did a 100-mile run, and what did you get?
20. I got 22.
And that was just locking the cruise.
That was locked on cruise, in eco mode, going the speed limit.
That's fair.
But I did go 75 with a headwind, you know.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No. So, we talked a lot about the specifics of the trimmer suspension package in the shop.
We did.
Powertrain, really nothing different with the trimmer here. But how does that, we know it helps off-road because of the wheel travel. But how does it handle everyday, you know, road bumps, undulations in the road, and that sort of thing?
Dude, it leans and wallows.
It does a little bit.
With a ton of charm.
Yeah? What do you mean by that?
I freaking love it. This thing has compliance. And look, we have a Gen 1 Raptor in our long-term fleet with a bazillion miles but fresh shocks on it, and it rides atrocious
compared to this.
Compared to this.
Yes, yeah.
And part of that is that the Raptor is tuned to land that jump.
Right.
And this is tuned to keep wheels on the ground the entire time.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest difference. You take this thing and you blast with reckless disregard and reckless abandon on a dirt road, and it rides awesome. It has the cloud thing, and the rest of the time, it's just smooth. Yeah. And my wife, I'm going to put this out there for my wife, she will not shut up at how comfy the seats are.
The seats are comfy. They're really soft, a little softer than I'd like.
Same here. That may be why she likes it.
And I'm curious about how long they'll hold up long term, but they look awesome and they are comfortable.
They are, yeah.
So
ride and drive, it drives just like an F-150, except this is the tall boy. It is high in the air, but it doesn't feel unstable.
No, it doesn't.
And part of that is because the track width is an inch wider, and that's what comes into play.
Track width helps a little with the offset wheels,
Yeah.
and yeah, it just rides really good in just about every situation.
It does. Can I rant about this for real quick?
Yeah, we've done that in every F-150.
I know, but I'm going to explain why I can quit ranting about it.
Okay.
I figured out that the reason why we don't like the 10-speed calibration in Ford products, because GM uses this trans as well, is that they are locking and unlocking the torque converter at unique points in the name of fuel economy.
Yeah.
And what that does is it makes it feel like it has 20 gears instead of 10.
Yeah.
And I figured out that with an aftermarket tune, you can get that thing to calm down, and a lot of people have good results with that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say it right now. I'm going to quit complaining about this because I know if I bought it, I could just fix that.
I want to point one of the other things. We did use a trailer with this at one point, and I tried to use Pro trailers.
Oh, sure.
And I'm sure it works great. I'm sure if you get the package, but I didn't know until I actually tried to use it that you actually have to put a module on the trailer.
Right, you got to
leave it on there. All this calibrated.
Right.
What a nuisance. And I guess if you had a trailer all the time, it'd be fine. But
I'm just going to say that if you need this feature, you should not be towing anyways.
It's just pointless.
That's just where it is.
Yeah.
But that all that covered, I think this thing's ready for the hill.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, Brian. We've got a lot of goodies. Got the hill right there.
Yep.
You're going to use them all, I mean, because Ford has hooked us up with a trimmer package. You get all the off-road modes.
Off-road modes, you got like 6 of them.
You got diff lock.
Diff lock.
You got trail control.
Yep, which is like cruise control, can drive itself up.
You got one pedal drive.
One pedal drive, yep.
You got turn assist.
Trail turn assist, which we'll show that in a second. It's really cool.
So you're going to use all those, right?
I'm not using anything.
Oh, what's your plan?
32-inch tires. And ground clearance.
And that's it?
That's it.
Okay, well, let's see how he does.
One-wheel drive, that's what this is.
Okay.
Ready?
One-wheel drive, let's see if you can do it. Let's get up there. It's a steep hill. Steeper than it looks. But, all right, let's go. Gonna need a little momentum for the one-wheel drive. There's the one-wheel drive. Might not make it. Four-wheel heat. And... oh. He just made it. So, okay, well, let's go see what happens here. All right, Brian, so you at least use light diff lock, right?
No,
Oh, you just went up it.
I just give it gas, that's it.
Oh. Well, there you go. Pretty simple, and but if you needed all the goodies, you've got them.
Oh, you've got them, and if this is more, if this is a steeper hill, we've had a lot of comments saying, oh, I can do that in two-wheel drive. Look, you can with enough tire and momentum. But here's the trick. If you didn't have ground clearance, you rip the nose off whatever you're driving, and that's where the Tremor really shines. And so that's great. I want to show the trail turn assist, and then I think we go to the shop and wrap this up.
All right, trail turn assist. And it just drags against that tire. It helps it turn really sharp. That's pretty cool. Brian, that's a pretty sharp turn for a big old truck.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's tech from the Bronco. It is now here. You can't hear this because the wind's so bad, but that's okay. Pretty cool.
Pretty good.
I can get you a drink if you like.
Well, Brian, that's where our viewers can help, because Patreon, we have membership levels.
We do, yeah.
We have a $3.
Yep.
Get you a cup of coffee, which I need. Obviously,
get us a cup of coffee.
me a cup of coffee. $5 gets us a thermos.
That's both of us.
Yes, and then $10 gets us what, Brian?
That gets your car featured, and we also rate your vehicle on our Hipster Score and let you know how silly it is or how good it is.
Yeah. All right. With that, Brian, let's get into the Tremor. Let's get our closing thoughts on it. We liked it a lot. We said a lot of things in the review.
Yep.
But it's ride and drive, but we haven't really gotten to the price. Where does the price of this Tremor start, and is it a value?
It starts at $53,000, and it ends as high as you want, almost to $70,000.
Kind of like a lot of vehicles these days.
Right,
There's a broad
right.
$20,000 spread on it.
Big spread, but that's based on features. So the base one doesn't give you halogen headlights. It doesn't give you ball chillers or heated seats. This one's somewhere in the middle at $63,000. It gives you cooler seats, but they're still cloth.
This has got the mid package.
Mid package
Yeah.
gives you the giant screen and all the driver assist stuff, but
Right.
not Blue Cruise. You can get that on the higher trim.
Right.
Now, competition. Chevy ZR2 is coming out. It starts at $70,000.
To be fair, though, I think the ZR-T is a little bit more than this. The
I
Tremor's
agree.
right below it.
I agree. It has special dampers. This has different but not branded dampers.
Right.
So there's things like that. And then on the Ram side, the Ram Rebel is really what this is going against. Based on price,
I'd
it's
say
really what
that.
it's going
Yeah.
against.
Yeah, the Rebel's probably ahead of the FX4.
Yep.
But this is probably ahead of the Rebel.
Yep.
But the ZR-T is probably ahead of this.
Right.
And then you got a Raptor.
But your Ram guys aren't going to say this is ahead of the Rebel. Because they're going to say Air Rebel solved the ground clearance problem.
Yeah,
So,
potentially.
potentially.
Yeah, and there's that. There's
Right.
that.
So there's a brand bias there, of course.
All told, though, we've had it for a week now, and we've driven the snot out of it.
Yes, absolutely.
On all kinds of roads.
Yes.
And I think at 53, I don't know about you, I think it's an incredible value.
I agree.
And needs to be considered by a lot of people.
The only downside is the headlights that look so brilliant and the grille that looks, and we've agreed, the front end of this truck is the best looking 150 available today.
And yeah, out of all those grills.
But when you get the $53,000 one, you don't get the headlights that really match it as well.
True.
Yeah.
Also, it'd be nice, Ford, if you had a V8 option in this.
Right.
That'd
That's
be nice.
we keep coming back to that. We want this suspension on a Coyote.
Okay, so Hipster Score. 3, 2, 1, 5.
4.
Okay, 4.
Yes.
Why'd you go with a 4?
It's just off-roady looking enough in a not Jeep way
Okay.
to not get that extra point that you gave it.
I gave it an extra point because of the brown. I think Hipster's like brown, so there you go.
If it were blue, it'd be a 4.
In closing, who's this truck for? And we kind of already talked about that, but it's the Rebel, FX4, ZR2. It's all those people looking for the off-road
Yeah,
package.
it's
That's
for
what's
me. I love this thing.
Okay.
This thing's great. It's the most Jeep of the F-150s. The Raptor is too wide for trails.
Yeah.
And this is still wide, don't get me wrong.
This is pretty
the
wide,
Rangers
too.
are still better. The Colorados and Canyons and Gladiators and Frontiers, they're all better for trails. But this thing for a full size does the mountain goat really well.
Last thing, we have a Ranger trimmer, we have an F250 trimmer, and now we have an F150 trimmer.
Trimmer across the board.
Which is the best?
I really like that Ranger.
Let us know what you think is the best
Yeah.
in the comments. And with that, thanks for watching, Brian. There's places they can go to tune in for more stuff.
TechStartChannel.com, go to YouTube, that's our main bread and butter. And also let us know, do you think the Maverick should have a trimmer? Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.
Maverick SST or ST? Maverick ST?
Sure.
Well, my friends say, girl, you better take care, 'cause that man is trouble, you best beware. And though deep down I know I might be headed for teardrops, now that you got me started, I just